passion, yeah. Turn every situation into heaven, yeah.
All right. Take two.
Good morning, my friend.
See, sometimes something is so great, you got to do it twice. You know,
That's true.
sometimes something
That's
is
true.
so great, you got to do it twice. And listen, I'm not going to give anybody a hard time. I'm not going to talk about karma. I'm not going to talk about any of those things because sometimes computers in life get in the way, and that's what happens. So we're going to move on.
I will say that was the craziest thing that I've ever seen. I have a Big Mac, right? Computer, not the burger. And all of a sudden my screen went black. And so I just sent this massive report to Apple. It was insane.
You sent them so our screen goes blank. Our screen goes blank. Your screen goes blank. You log off. Before you try to get back on, you send a report.
No. It already says, do you want to report it? It just does it automatically.
I got you.
And I was like, yeah, I've never had that happen before. So
when your computer broke down, I don't know who Karen Scholl is, but she yelled at me for teasing you about it. Maybe she hasn't watched any of the other Command Your Mornings where I'm a complete human punching bag for Karen's jokes.
Oh, Karen Scholl, was she protective of me?
I'm Karen's handler. You stop it, Nick. But I wasn't even mean.
Karen Scholl, we'll have her on some days. You know, she was my MCA, then became ATL. She's my co-team leader, but now she's a team leader, and we're hiring some more team leaders to replace me in Naperville. But she is my handler. I refer to her as my right arm and my left lung because I cannot live without her.
So, listen, computers are a funny thing.
Let's bring our guest on, though, because I love her.
Yeah, let's bring her on. Our guest is, you know what? Hold on. Because we were running a little late, I have to do this. Okay, and here we go. Woof! All right.
Hi.
Here she is. I had to give her the introduction with the scroll along the bottom of the screen. Everyone say hello. Resham, what's up?
I'm regional director.
Oh, Resham, it's so good to see you.
So good to see you. Karen, congratulations.
Thank you.
You are an inspiration to all of us. What a great journey. Wow. Wow. It was so
actually,
good.
Karen, before we start, I told Resham that she could actually interview you for a couple of minutes.
No.
Yes.
She wants to interview you.
No, because Resham,
I told her no, that you wouldn't want to.
No, I don't.
She wants to ask you some questions.
I don't want to. I'll just do it at a separate time. But Resham runs an empire. So tell everybody who you are.
I know. First of all, before Resham starts, I just want to say that why she is not on every Connect Live, every panel about team leaders at Family Reunion and Mega Camp. Jason and Josh and Gary and Annie and Ellen, if you're watching this, you have a stealth team leader flying under the radar who is growing an empire bigger than anyone I've ever seen. Karen, if you didn't leave to do regional director, you'd have stiff competition right now.
I do. No, she pushes me to be better. She does.
So, when Resham hired me to teach, 5 times a month for her market centers. And when she told me the stuff that's going on there, the numbers that are happening in that market center, I was just blown away.
Oh, she's like a ninja empire builder.
I should be doing this every morning. It's the perfect thing, right?
It's crazy.
Who are you? Well, tell everybody. The world needs to know.
She's super humble too, so we might have to say some things. She's not going to want to say.
I agree, but we'll let her start at least. We'll stop talking.
Well, first of all, I'm a mom. I love being a mom, a wife, a daughter, and then I'm a team leader in Ridgewood, and now I'm an OP in another market center, which is Centerfly. So that's who I am.
How many people? Well, you operate with Al Donahue.
Yes. He's amazing. I joke with him. I'm his biggest pain in the ankle. I keep pushing.
Talent pushes.
And Karen, There are so many things I want to ask you. I have attended almost every family reunion panel that you're on. And, when you surround yourself with people that are succeeding at the level you are, it becomes easy to follow that path. So thank you for doing what you're doing, because it makes it easy for all of us. Thank
That
you.
was so nice. I mean, thank you. Let's talk about you.
Okay. I'm trying, Nick.
Say some of the things that Resham's going to want to say.
Interview Karen. What a great journey from where you started.
No. Oh, nice try. This is
Resham, why don't you interview Karen? Resham does an interview with a mega. Why don't you interview Karen on your interview with a mega?
Resham, how long have you been with Keller Williams?
This is my 4th year now.
That's 4th year. Okay, so what did your world look like 4 years ago versus today?
I jumped a lot. Like, I went from jewelry designer to fashion to real estate with the yellow company sign. 3 years in real estate, rookie of the year, then 16 million in production, then attended family reunion, which is coming up, and it changed my world. It changed everything in my life. So I'm very, very, very excited about family reunion again. We have 160 agents registered in our market center. And the goal is to keep continuing to get to 100 more.
So how many locations do you all operate? And like from 4 years ago to today, how many agents did you have 4 years ago in your group, or what did that look like versus today?
So when I came in, Ridgewood is a very well-established market center.
Yes.
Sally Ponchak, my former team leader, she's my partner in crime. She, did a fabulous job. We were always in the top 10. It was 390 agents. Today it's 530 plus agents. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's been a great ride. We have a business center. We recently are opening an Indy office. We hired a mega $65 million team, so we're very excited about that. It's been a great.
Well, let me go over some of these statistics from last year, from 2020. So 529 agents, closed 2,190 units, sales volume of 1.3 billion, listings sold over 1,000 listings of that 2,190, GCI 32 million, over 32 million, and the office and the profit share was 14%. Now keep in mind, we were in a pandemic, right? The profit share was 14% higher than 2019 at 1.1795.
Yeah.
And you guys are like what, number 2 or 3 in the country for profit share?
Yeah, we're number 3 in the country. We want to get to number 1. We have a long way to go.
You know what's crazy to me? The fact that at 1.1 million in profit share, they're number 3. Like there's
cow.
Like that's what's crazy about Keller Williams. There's 2 other market centers sharing more than that. It's crazy. It's crazy. But Resham, like you're very humble and that's awesome about you. And like when I got connected with you, thanks to Karen, I start seeing on her Facebook page, like every other week, there's like a 50, 60, 70, $100 million team joining that office. And so one second, my 5-year-old's in the room because my kids went this. 1 second, dude. But my question is, to her the other day was, I know there are hundreds of team leaders out there that want to know what you are doing to attract that type of talent. And because there's a lot of competition in Bergen County.
It's my sterling personality. No, I'm kidding. It's connecting with the agents, building relationships, knowing their goals, their why, and then aligning it with our awesome tools of 411 and 135. Case in point, one of my recent recruits that, had an offer in hand, 94-6 split, joining bonus, stock options. He still came on board without a single signing bonus or any stock options because all it took was some time to make him realize that the competition was just offering a carrot up front but no viable path to achieving his goals. In fact, they didn't even talk about his goals. And it's really diving deep
Wow.
into knowing what they're looking for.
That's
And
very telling.
yeah.
So it's interesting. Like you're having conversations with agents about their business they've never had before ever, and like it's interesting because you came from Weichert, and Weichert's very prominent in New Jersey. But the thing with Weichert is, they're just pushing, do more open houses. Hey, how do I make more, sell more houses, do more open houses. They don't ever
That's every old fashioned. That's every old fashioned brokerage.
Yeah, but like Weichert specifically, like when you think of Weichert, New Jersey, you're like, oh, is that the company that's like always doing an open house like every day of the week, no matter what time of the day it is? Because that's that's the way they teach. There's no other model.
I had a Weichert franchise merge into us, and all they told him for his 8% franchise fee was, we're going to coach you now. Okay. So they called him and said, we're going to coach you now. And he's like, awesome. Because he was questioning his value of paying that huge franchise fee, that with no cap. And they called him and they go, have you ever watched the show Profit? And he goes, well, yeah. And they go, you should watch that. That was his coaching call.
Yeah. See, going into Weichert, it's when you get into real estate, nobody's having these conversations with you on your why, on your goals. And when I started with Weichert, it was just like, all right, these are your 3 things you have to do. You have to do mailers, farming, door knocking, open houses, and calling. And you're just going to get into the company just knowing these are your 4 to 5 options.
Right.
And why do you want to get to 20 million? Why do you want to what does that do to you and your family? That's the missing piece. And I think what was really different in going to family reunion, understanding and hearing from top agents was, it's not about reaching platinum. It's not about reaching gold. It's about living a life by design, and the opportunities you have in Keller Williams, it just didn't exist. So for me, Weichert was 3rd year, 16 million. There were so many pain points. I didn't know how to leverage, kept hiring a VA. And then I'm like, okay, forget the VA because I'd rather do it myself. And then I was seeing my colleagues, sunny side up, mimosas, pumpkin picking, and they were where I was, and now they were at 40 million. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong here?
Right.
And at the time I had my son, he was 3 years old, and I decided to give it a shot to go to family reunion. It was a very last minute decision, took the red eye, heard Gary Keller. It was very last minute. And I read literally a third of the book on the flight. And then at 1:00 stood among amazing agents, the energy. And I just stood there, and Gary Keller came on stage, and I remember this distinctly. I called up my husband and I said, we're moving. I have to join this company. It didn't matter what it entailed, what the splits were. I had never spoken to a team leader before I went to family reunion. And then, I was given an opportunity at Weichert to be a manager in one of their top offices in Jersey City.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to know what leadership opportunities look like at Keller Williams. And, Al, I stalked him at family reunion. I'd never met him before. Stalked him, straight went into the elevator that he was taking. And I said, I'm Resham. I am a guest here. You don't know me, but I'd like 5 minutes of your time. And he was like, well, I'm about to get into a meeting. Let's meet in New Jersey. And I'm like, it's okay. I'll walk you to your room. And he's like, no. It's like, no, let's just sit here. And, he asked me, he asked me what my goals were. And I told him, I said, look, I don't know much about Keller Williams. I've attended a few team leader classes, a few OP classes. And I always had this thing of having my own office, having a culture which is agent-centric. And Keller Williams gives you those opportunities. So in short, I want your role. I want to be an OP of multiple market centers. And he asked me, what would it take what do you think will take you to get there? And I'm like, you're going to show it to me. And I joined his world, and credit to him, he's given me every opportunity that exists.
You know, the thing that blew me away. Oh, sorry, Karen.
No, go ahead.
The thing that really impresses me, and this speaks volumes too to like the way KW hires, right? So, you know, by the way, 16, 17 million, obviously not any number to, you know, balk at all, right? Like that's still a fantastic number. You know, you just had this, and the fact, and by the way, like, I'm just going to say this, and if anyone from Weikert's listening, it's the truth. The fact that you did that at Weikert with no guidance is astonishing, right? So I want to say, like, the thing about KW and what happened to you is, you know, you came to this market center and you became an ATL, then a team leader. All in less than 5 years, you had this leadership inside of you that needed to be let loose, and you had never done it before. And the KPA like found that, and you know, discovered that, and then you were able to let it out. And I think that that's speaks volumes to like what this company can tell you about yourself. You know what I mean?
Is it not true? Like, this is the example of yesterday. I think Melanie Kenneman shared that I posted the opportunity map from 5 years ago. It came up on my memories, like anything's possible. And Gary Keller and others always say, you overestimate what you can accomplish in 1 year and you underestimate what you can do in 5. And like, you are a shining example of like, look what's happened.
You know, Karen, it's again going back to surrounding yourself and your team, empowering the people around you, because all this success only happens when you take the time to create leaders around you. And once you do that, it's not about let's come in and be number one. It's about aligning your team's goals with the main goal, and then the magic happens. I strongly believe in that. Team makes or breaks you. TL Fundamentals with Marking was pivotal for me.
Oh, that class, I call it leadership fundamentals. My whole leadership team goes, everyone.
Yeah, it's fantastic. All my systems as a new team leader, it was literally not reinventing the wheel, but following that model. And I will say this, every team leader who's just starting out, surround yourself with people who are there, who've done it before, and you know, implement it. Execution is equally important than just, you know, it's what makes.
Yeah, you can't just talk it; you have to walk it. I love that you said that about team leaders. I was talking to Bev Steiner yesterday, and she is a team leader that's been a team leader for 17 years. Imagine. But I said that
I don't even want to. I just imagine it.
God bless us.
Well, no, I mean that the longevity of being able to live that role for that long successfully. And I said, well, she should be inside that team leader Facebook page doing interviews to let team leaders know, like, hang on, you're about to hit greatness. Like, it just takes a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. Okay, so what's next?
You know what's funny? So that's funny. It's funny that you say that, because when my regional director, we got a new regional director when I was a TL, and she was making the rounds, visiting the market centers. She's like, hey, how long have you been in the role? I was like, at that point, I think it was like 18 months or so. And
that's the number.
She goes, that's just about enough time to start settling in.
Yep. I call it team leader legs. You get your team leader legs at 18 months.
That's true.
And that's why the turnover rate's so high, right? Like, you know, because it's first of all, it's the most selfless position in the company, I feel, you know, because you care more about everyone else than they care about themselves. And it's like, she has 529 people that she has to care about, and she honestly does. And so when someone doesn't see their full potential, when someone doesn't see their full potential, it's upsetting, you know? So that can make you feel really sad a lot of the time.
You know, I also think, like, you know, when I met with Al, there wasn't a team leader role. There was no guarantee of being a team leader or a co-team leader. And sometimes when you have a vision of where you want to go, put the ego on the side and come in even as a Dofi, as a receptionist, as an ATL, as a coach. Just learn from the best so that you can be the best you can be for the agents you're going to take on. I just feel I came in as an ATL, and it set my foundation strong.
I literally have the chills right now because you have grown so much as a leader in the past few years. Like, it's so fun to see. I mean, I can't wait to see when you're like president at KW. Like, this is, I mean, no offense, Josh, but like, this is going to be so fun. I think it was Resham. Yeah, it was Resham. I believe, though, at a family reunion at a class, she was sitting off to the right, like second row. I'll never forget. And I think she said something like, "Oh my God, you're really tall."
Hey, Resham, I have a question. So you said that you took the indie model concept that Dana Gentry implemented. We love Dana. And you customized it to your area. And you focused in the last 6 months to bring in these mega teams. And now you have 3 $60 million plus teams that have come in under the indie model, which is really impressive. Can you talk about, for the other TLs out there, or maybe, aspiring TLs, how you approach those teams? Because that can be very intimidating, right? Because they're doing huge business already, right? So what's your value proposition, right? Like, they're already doing over 60 million, sometimes 100. What are you going to offer them that's going to be better than what they're already doing, right? That's what we get a lot of. So what was the approach for that?
It's, again, a lot of it. People resist change, right? And that is the biggest barrier to getting a high-performing team, to get over the fact that the move to KW will not impact their business. And then we have really built out a clearly defined transition plan so the mega teams see how they won't miss a beat during this transition. Right from offering them branding and marketing support from Michael's marketing suite, to transaction coordination services, to onboarding with our awesome director of tech, Elise. All of these commences, all of this starts way before the actual date of transfer. And then talking to them, most of these mega agents and teams, they sometimes don't even know the numbers, and educating them, talking to them about the models, the systems, and what are they looking for? Is it time? Is it opportunities, or is it money? And that's diving deep into that.
So fun. So someone wrote, "I'm a brand new agent and have these goals, time to focus and learn from all these amazing leaders." That's what this company is about, is learning from others that have done it before, because nobody is going to not help you.
Yep, 100%. And it's about what success means to them.
Individualized.
Well, that's a very good point.
It's what success, and I feel like coming from a traditional company, that was never the focus. That was very different. And I think that's, the mega team that we brought on board, she'd been with the Blue and White Sign Company for 30 plus years. And it was just, putting her head down, working. And then I think succeeding through others. Mary Beth Olive had a great relationship with her, and, bringing her on and understanding what she was looking for in her next chapter in her life, and how does Keller Williams allow that platform for her to accomplish that.
This is what people don't understand about the importance of a cap, because people do not correlate the importance of a cap. When I was at another company, it was Blue and White, their goal for me was to sell the most, no matter what it was that I wanted, because the more I made, the more they took, right? And that's what people do not realize of the value of the cap. And I said to I call it old fashioned, some people call it traditional broker. I said, I can't imagine what it's like to go to bed every night and think about the people that you don't want to be in business with, and you only are because they give you $100 or $200 or $300,000 a year. Yep. And so when people underestimate why the model works as well as it does, is because it is not about my success or what they're going to bring me as income or revenue, because through their sales, it's what they really want, because that's the beauty of the cap. And that's something that gets missed over and over and over again in our story.
Right. 100%. And, also Keller Williams is an opportunity for wealth building. There are so many opportunities with profit share, and particularly in our group, Bergen County Partners, Al has done a fabulous job with passive income, wealth building opportunities with owning title shares, insurance shares. That's another avenue of building passive income. It's almost like, trying to get that agent from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant, to being a business owner, to being a CEO, and to being an investor versus self-employed, and seeing themselves as an agent.
Yeah, it's so true. It's you don't even know. I just had an agent who joined us last year, and I'm going to read what she wrote me. And I thought these are the stories that are everywhere. She said, I hit number 2 GCI in our office. I'm grateful to be on the finance committee as the chair. These are dreams of mine coming true. I can't wait to build my team. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Forever grateful. You told me I can do whatever I want in this company and achieving these goals. I'm learning so much and have been so forever grateful. I never knew what I was capable of. Remax held me back. You pushed me to fail forward.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I love that.
Resham, you mentioned earlier about different streams of income, right? So like, it's not just profit share. I mean, you can invest in the market centers that you are licensed in and or not licensed in
for no cost,
and become owners, right? Like, and make passive income that way. Like, tell me another company that allows their agents to buy shares in the market center. I can't think of one, right? So there's that. There's profit share. I mean, my profit share lifetime total is approaching $300,000 over the last 10 years, which is insane, right? Break that down. That's like an extra. That's like an extra salary every year for the last decade, right? Like this past year, my profit share paid my mortgage every single month, and then I had money left over.
Right.
So,
I paid for my car.
It's fantastic. And you know what? I don't think any company allows you to make up 110% of your commissions. Right?
Right.
You can sponsor 4 cappers to join your company, never pay a cap, and then have disappearing cap, right? So you're earning through profit share, and then you have disappearing cap. You literally are not paying a cap, and you can be netting 110%. And with other streams of passive income that our group offers, some of our top agents are at 115% of their commissions.
Can you talk about the disappearing cap? Because not a lot of. Sorry, Karen. I'm going to forget.
I don't know that I don't think we should talk about it because not every region has it. So I just don't want to. I don't want to create something that may not be working.
Every region has it. They just don't use it.
It's up to the operators.
Right.
To implement it or not, yeah.
You can't talk about a strategy that she's using. It was announced on stage at family reunion.
All right.
I will not talk about it. No, let's
talk about it. Our job is to make people listen. The industry is extremely competitive right now.
Yeah.
And this is a way to listen. If you brought in 4 cappers, you have no cap. And if you're making profit share, KW's paying you to be there.
Well, that's why also on Command, they're adding this whole wealth building platform on the homepage because we want to show you that if your cap is this, the revenue and income from all your streams is this, right? So let's double your cap, triple your cap, quadruple your cap, because like you said, we don't fight. You said,
I think that we need to talk about it because if not every region is talking about it, they either don't know about it or they're afraid. And if you're afraid,
I'm never getting invited back to the show.
No, yes, you are. I have you every day. No, there's no bad conversation. I say it all the time. No, but I think that when we can teach people other wealth building, whether through title or mortgage or photography or all these other businesses that also come with. So when Rick Cunningham was on a few weeks ago, he talked about Keller Williams is the vehicle for distribution network to build wealth for him and his people.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it. Resham, you're implementing disappearing cap? Yeah, let's talk about how it works.
Resham, you can talk.
Let's talk about something else.
No, because we have it in our group. I just want
to. You did, Karen. You made her nervous.
No, we do have disappearing cap, and it's 25% every time you bring in somebody who's closed who's a capper. And
your cap is reduced 25% whenever you bring a capper in. Yeah.
And that following year, not that current year. So if right now you brought in a capper, in 2021, you would have 25% of your cap reduced. So if this year in her market center, if you brought in 4 cappers, next year you'd have no cap, which is pretty incredible. And if you're making profit share of, 20,
double dip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's 5,000, they're still, no matter what, they're still paying you to be there. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And it's creating growth partners in the market center. Allegiant with my top agents who I consider my growth partners. And a couple of my growth partners haven't paid a cap in 2 years. In 2 years, there's no cap. And
good for them. They earned it.
Yeah, they earned it. And they have, the first year that they focused, they added 15, they sponsored 15 agents in their first line.
There's a team leader on the team leader Facebook group today that's looking for someone to speak that added 15 people to their first line. So connect those two. Yep.
Absolutely.
Good.
Resham, can you tell us about, because you had a record year, everything was increased, right, year over year, and being that it was a pandemic, and with that many agents, it's pretty incredible that you were able to keep everyone connected. What were some of the tips and strategies that, I know some of them, but what are some of for everyone else, what are some of the things that you did differently to keep people engaged?
Every day, getting on the Zoom classes, education, plugging them in. ROP every single day went live. Ask Al anything, and every team leader plugged in. Why
didn't I get to get on that? I have a lot to ask him.
Yeah, that's so good.
And I have to say it was from pivot shift ahead to connecting them to James Shaw's morning. It was mindset. It was bringing them up when they felt down. And it was every member of the team making sure we were touching them every single day. Come to this class, attend this, bringing in mindset classes. It was all hands on deck.
You guys did. So if people think that Nick and I fight or I'm mean to Nick, which is not true, I am so mean to Al for some reason.
Me too, Karen. I'm just being nice to
you. That's not fair, because Al is so quiet.
Oh, he's so good. No, he's so talented and he's so smart.
The fact that you got Al to go, the fact that you got Al to go live on Facebook is probably so out of his comfort zone. Because the guy,
I don't know why. I don't know why I've verbally, he's my whipping boy of the East Coast or something. I don't know why I'm so mean to him.
If Al's your whipping boy and I'm not, wow.
Well, you're my Midwest whipping boy. But I just think, I love the guy because you know what it is? I when you pick on the kids you love the most in school, in 3rd grade. I love Al like a brother because he's so mysterious to me because he is quite reserved. Like Pete, right? Like Resham, I'm you and Al is Pete.
Yeah.
And they're kind of reserved.
I just want to say to Resham, because Resham, thanks to Karen, I'm going to give Karen all the credit.
That is true. Actually, that is 100% true.
I teach weekly for Karen's offices, and then because of Karen, Resham brought me in, and I'm teaching weekly to.
And thank you, Karen, for jumping on that day. It was the biggest golden nugget of getting Nick into BCP. It has been instrumental in getting.
Well, thank you very much. I just wanted to say that, I'm getting so much value out of it because I get to get on masterminds with Stacey Esser.
Oh my God, she's awesome.
Oh my gosh, Orly Steinberg, these huge, amazing agents. It's when I'm so humbled when someone like Stacey Esser, who did 125 million in 99 transactions, says that she needs my help. That to me, that to me is the best compliment ever. And so, because of Resham, I'm now being connected to these amazing people who really want, and they want to use command. They want to use it, and they're so open-minded and open to learning, and it's just so awesome.
What's your average sales price in your market, Resham?
Well, our average sale price is about 800,000.
Yeah,
In the
Stacey's
high
at
end,
one
but
point.
Stacy's average price point is about 1.5 million.
Good for Stacy.
Yes,
Well,
but she
welcome to Northern
works
New
for her
Jersey.
team. She's, if anybody, it's her who's for the MREA models to the T. She has 2 MAPS coaches. She is a John Maxwell certified coach.
I need to borrow her to speak for our groups.
Absolutely. I will definitely connect you, Karen. She's amazing.
And her admin, Emily, is a total rock star. They have a
Yeah.
great team over there. So, yeah, and that's so cool. And Resham, one of the things that you do that I think brings a lot of value, and it also shows how much you appreciate the people that work with you, is you do these weekly, is it weekly? I don't know if it's weekly, but you do these live streams with the top agents in your office. And you did one with Stacy. I think you did one with Orly recently, and you stream it to Facebook. And that's huge, because we need to pour into our people. And tell me about how that came about and what you typically talk about on those live streams.
We hear all the time, we don't tell our story well enough. No better way than to hear it from our agents, learn from our agents and I always try to ask them how it helps us understand what they're looking for. I think they're live, it's candid. I love interviewing top agents because it teaches me every time I interview them. And I think it's the best way to tell our story, who we are, what our agents represent, what our culture looks like. It's through our agents.
Well, you are the story too. Like that, like don't underestimate, but I want to make a very clear point about how you have achieved so much in such a short time. Is you raised your hand and you pushed. I mean, you followed Al in the elevator, which he was probably like, "This girl is stalking." You just,
But
what I mean is, you go after what you want. You don't wait and go, "What about me? Where's my opportunity? How me?" Well, I don't get anything. Well, no, you got to go get it. You have to go get it.
Yes. And it's there. It's for everybody. You have to have a big why. I have a big why. I came to this country.
When is it?
Did you come over from somewhere else?
I
thought you were from Brooklyn.
Yeah, totally. Queens girl, actually. I actually used to live in Queens. I'm a city girl, but I came from India and came from a family that was, I love my family, but they're very orthodox. And my dad wanted me married at the age of 18 for my better, have a kid, have a good family, you don't have to work ever. And I'm like, Papa, I'm your daughter. You're a businessman, and that's who I want to be. I want to own my own business. And I ran away. I ran away, came to this country at the age of 19 and worked 9 jobs to put myself through FIT. It was the cheapest course I took.
FIT?
Yeah,
my wife went to FIT. Did I tell you that? I feel like I might have told you that the first time we talked.
Really? I don't remember you saying that. Wow, FITs.
Yes. I'm going to connect you. All right,
that's awesome.
And
so you came over when you were 19. You came over when you were 19. English was not your first language.
Mm-hmm.
Your father wanted you to get, traditional, get married, have a family, and then you told him no and just did it anyway.
Did it anyway because, I feel women in India sometimes don't have the opportunities, and I had to come in and prove that when you put your mind to something, you can achieve anything you want. And my dad is the most proud of me today. And it took time. I mean, and I always say that there's no job that is small as long as you're working towards building something and creating a world where people around you succeed. I was a flyer girl in New York. I worked as a lotto girl. I did all of that. And finally got a job in the fashion industry and became a COO in 7 years, and then got into real estate after I had my kid.
How did you learn to have this go get it attitude? Like, who taught you to not listen to anyone else and like put your blinders on, stay focused, and charge through? Because you could be a victim of circumstances as an immigrant coming in at 19, but instead you saw the opportunity, right? Two very different mindsets.
Yes, you can never be, you can choose. Exactly right. I always saw myself as somebody who was so lucky coming here, the land of opportunities, and tapping into it. It was never like poor me. It was always like, wow, this is awesome. I got to make something out of it. So that you open doors for people to think you can't, you actually can.
Well, you are like you have, and I want to ask you. We have two more questions, or at least I do. But I just want to say that it's the perfect, like when you have a TL like Resham who's gone through, first of all, she's came from another country when she was a teenager, didn't speak English, put herself through school, and now is running a giant market center and is OP of another, and it just shows you the opportunity that Keller Williams brings, and you sit there as a prime example. So listen, a lot of times we talk about how easy it is, right? We want to talk about how easy it is to do what you're doing. 1 second, Boo. 1 second.
No.
We talk about how easy it is. We don't talk about a lot of the struggle. So like, what are some of the things that are really difficult for you that you struggle with as a team leader every day?
You always want to tell somebody, this is awesome. I think the struggle is, how do you get them through the hump of understanding the Keller world? I think that is a constant, sometimes they say, right, when you're in Keller, you can't explain what's going on to the outside world. They don't see what's going on inside. That's one of the challenges. And, every single day you have to work to provide to your team, to your agents. And it's not a struggle. I wouldn't call it a struggle, but I would say every single day you have to learn to be better and be a student. And what more can you provide? What else is new? Ever evolving. You have to always change and evolve. It's not a day of, okay, I've achieved this, I'm good. Because that's the day you put a lid on everybody around you, the day you stop.
I can listen to you all day.
No.
Yeah. No, because I think people take opportunity for granted, and there is an entitlement around opportunity. And I think your story is more than inspiring, because you had everything against you coming here at 19, and look what you've accomplished for you. Not for anybody else, for you, and now for your son. And you've changed your family's generational history. I mean, future forever, because they're going to say like, Resham was a leader, and she did it, and so it's very, very powerful. It's very powerful.
Thank you, Karen.
Resham, talk about your morning. First of all, two more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. But first of all, your morning routine, what's it look like?
I put on makeup and I'm zooming. No, I'm kidding.
100%, that's true.
I just woke up like this, so I'm just saying.
Try to get a workout out. I love Peloton. I try to get on it first thing. And then it really starts with setting up the day through team huddles with my OP first, and then with my team in the market center, after which from 9:30 to 11, it's doors closed, lead genning. And then it's 11 to 12:30 is lead follow-up, and then 2 to 3:30, 3:30 to 5, it's appointments. And then Friday, I keep the top 20%.
How many appointments are you typically going on a day?
I try to go on 2 appointments a day. And if I, struggle with that, it's almost you have to replace it for the next day. But the goal is to have 2 appointments, 2 conversations. And now it's almost, we want to double that.
Wow. Well, did you find that during the pandemic? Yeah. Did you find that you were having more? I can't imagine that brokers across the board knew how to pour into their agents when this took place, right? Like, and we pivoted and we have a model and we have guidance. Did you find that you took a lot of appointments because agents felt that all of a sudden their broker would like disappeared and they couldn't?
It's so funny you mentioned that. The mega team that just joined us from Coldwell Banker, she said that nobody called her for 5 months during COVID.
Yeah, that is absolutely, it's happening here too. The office hasn't been open since last March. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? We're doing 5 Zooms every morning at 7:30 and then our calendar through the day. Like, are you, what?
There were agents from other companies calling me and emailing me, can you tell me how do I apply for PPP or unemployment? It was constantly touching, and we had every system down in guiding our agents throughout this process.
You should have said, you should have said, bring all your friends over. There's your PPP. We'll pay your profit share.
Yeah, exactly. I should have.
That's a good one. I think that's really good.
$1,400. That's how much you want. How about $1,400 every month?
So funny. I mean, that is true. Like, you want PPP, just come here. Or that's where it's like, it's just so, it's unbelievable. So, all right, listen.
He often says, he's like, got my stimulus check every month. I want to talk about some books you're reading because you mentioned there's 2. So let's just wrap it up with the 2 books that you're reading right now.
12-Week Year. I just picked that up. Oh my God, that book. Annualized Thinking, out of the door. I love that book. And then
Analyze Thinking, it's called?
No, 12-Week Year.
Oh yeah. I have that.
And I'm reading that with my ALCs now. And then Orly, who is our mega team that joined us, 65 million, she wrote a book, Mindset Reset for Real Estate Success. And it's a fantastic book. Everybody should read that book.
What's it called?
Mindset Reset for Real Estate Success.
Oh, gotta write this down.
Mindset Reset for Real Estate Success. Well,
Orly Steinberg.
This has been awesome.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm humbled by it. It has been so amazing to be around.
No idea.
Girls like yourselves. Karen, I have always looked up to you. Continue to lead.
Only because I'm a foot taller. Only because I'm a foot taller. Listen, Josh team, are you listening? We need her on stage.
I'm sending this to Gary.
The people.
I'm sending this video to Gary and Josh and Jason, and they're all going to watch it, and we better see her. You got to put her somewhere. Put her somewhere.
Roberta Butanorte, she's like a 21-year-old rock star in Naperville. She's watching. Roberta, this is your path, girl. She's a leader. This is your path. You watch this.
I'm happy to. I've gotten so much from this company and from the leaders around. Every time I picked up the phone and called Karen up or Melanie or Mark, my coach Patrick, I've gotten everything I needed. And it's, I would love to give back. If anybody has any questions, feel free to call me. I'm happy to help any OP or team leader for anything I can do for them.
You're amazing. Spectacular. All right, we're going to dance it out. Resham, I just need to know if you can dance. I'm pretty sure you can.
Bye,
See you on Monday, y'all.
everybody.
Bye.